Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. We'll be starting very shortly. I'm just going to set things up. And of course, the YouTube app never makes this easy, so please bear with me here. So, can everybody hear me? Throw something in the chat if you can hear me. And I'm going to open the chat in a moment to be able to actually see what y'all are saying. I do have my computer off to the side. This way, you cannot see it, but I can see it. So, yes. Okay, so we have a yes. That's good. Live stream. Can I open this link? Video link. And I'm going to mute this so that you don't hear me twice. All right. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit, just a bit, or actually just show you what's going on over here. So these are the sets that I got on August 1st, and I will be building them all without the instructions. You get to decide the order in which I build these sets. And then I have a few more sets over here, and these are going to be for the giveaway. So some people are going to take some of these sets home, depending on who ends up winning the giveaway. And I learned from the Lego Star Wars giveaway that I did in May. And the difference is that now I'm going to request the YouTube handle and email address in advance or in the form itself for those who are eligible, of course. This way I don't have to keep chasing after people to give me their email so I can try to communicate with them to send them the set, because I did have that issue with the Star Wars sets in May. Oh, and I'm going to turn on my background light. That's going to illuminate things and make things look a lot better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see if there's a way to set up a poll so that you can vote on which of these sets to be built first. I'll try to see if I can do that quickly. Start a poll. So I'm gonna do that. So I have just my laptop and not the keyboard associated with it, so I don't have to like stretch my hands to type the question. Just give me a moment to do that. And it's not going to be a very long question, so it's basically which set do you want me to build first? And so what are the options? You can have up to four options. So I will exclude the gift with purchase, and I'll do the four others. But if you really want the Fortnite BrickHeads to be first, you can leave a comment for that. It's just because YouTube limits to only four possibilities. So what do we have? We have they have like long set names, and you can read them here and so on. You can also look them up on lego.com. I'm just going to write basically one word for each one just to make it simple for myself. So I can do the train. I could do the Quinjet. That's the big jet right there. I can do the motorbikes, motorcycles. And that's the Ninjago one right here, this small set. And then I can also do the One Piece, Buggy's, the Clown Circus tent, so I'll just call it Circus. And I tried to get the pirate ship at the Lego store. Unfortunately, they sold out on day one before I could even get it. So that's why I don't have the pirate ship with me here today. But I do plan on getting that set. I know a lot of you want me to get that set. I also want it for myself. So I will be getting that when it becomes available in stock at the Lego store, or maybe I'll make an online purchase and get it when there's a good gift with purchase. All right, so the poll is active, and we're just going to wait a little bit to see some results. So give people the chance to vote. And if you have any questions, you're not sure, you can leave them in the chat as well. So if you want to know more information about a particular set, so actually I'll just move the camera around. You can see the box art a bit better. So I have the subway train right here with 4 minifigures. It's very nice. I have the Marvel Quinjet. This is the largest set of the bunch, and it comes with 5 minifigures right here. It's a very nice design. This one is a lot smaller. The motorbikes from Ninjago with these 2 minifigures. You have the brickheads. For this one, if you want it, leave a comment in the chat because there is no way for me to include 5 sets in a YouTube poll. But this one also looks nice with the Cuddle Team Leader Adventure Peely. And finally, the one-piece Buggy the Clown Circus Tent. And this one comes with these minifigures right here. And some of these minifigures include exclusive pieces that we've never seen before. All right, so we got one person voted. One person voted, but I want to see more votes before we continue. So let's see here. Give people a couple more minutes to vote, and then we'll start. If there are any other LEGO sets that you want to see me build, you can fill out my survey or my poll that I did a while ago. I did this on July 31st, but the survey is still open and active. And the link to that is in the description of this live stream, but I'll put it in the chat just in case. So if you go to this survey, this is also how you can participate in the giveaway and have a chance to win, if you are eligible, of course. So survey plus giveaway. Got that link there. So you can choose more stuff from Ninjago, Lego City, Lego Friends, etc. If there's even another option, so if there's a set that you really want, but it's not on the list that I had because there's 100+ sets coming out and I cannot mention every one of them, then you can also enter the set number. And this way, if lots of people want me to get something like Mecha Team Leader, then if a lot of people request it, then I will definitely consider it. So keep those votes coming in. Be sure to vote in the poll for the live chat if you just joined, so that you help me decide which one of these to build first. I'll just move this one right here. So these are the motorbikes. I'll do this so you can actually see the set number. So it's going to be one of these, either this, or this, the train. This one right here. So how about I give you guys 30 more seconds, so half a minute more, and then we got to start building. All right, so I think we're going to start with the motorcycles, just because this is the one that got the most votes, although there were not that many votes in the poll. But we're going to start with this, and I'm going to build it without the instructions, as always. And after that, we can choose between all the rest. So let's do just that. And I'll actually move these other sets away temporarily, just so I get a bit more space here to build, because like these sets do take up some amount of distance between here to the wall. So I'll just do that very quickly. And I'll just put the sets off camera. They still exist. I'll bring them back when the time is right. And we'll build this little guy right here. This shouldn't take too long. All right, and I'll try to give myself a challenge to build this faster than the 4+ set from earlier today, and has less pieces in it, so it should be possible. But the challenge is that we don't really see these very well from the back, so we're gonna have to guess a little bit, but that's okay. I like to guess. So I'm just going to do something. Actually, never mind. Later I'll have to figure out how to edit this footage to turn this into a review that I post separately on the channel. But I'll just mention, yeah, the back of the box is quite obvious. I do like this circle right here. It's a bit unusual. And here we see Kai, the good guy, is actually holding this sword. So in the other set, the bad guys took this sword and now it's the good guys. So basically they're all going to fight to get this cool sword. And it just looked so amazing with the transparency on it. So let's open the set and see what's inside. That's what I like to say. And anyone want to guess, is it paper bags or plastic bags in this one? I'm guessing it's going to be plastic bags, just because all the Ninjago sets I opened recently were plastic. Well, let's see. So some of the Friends sets were paper bags. I don't think they did that for Ninjago yet, but let's find out. Yeah, it's plastic bags. So in this set, we got 2 unnumbered bags, with one of them much larger than the other. So this is just the tiny pieces right there. You got these instructions that I will not be using, but there's a QR code to scan here for points. I almost knocked over my lighting device. I want to be careful with that. So yeah, this is what you get in this set. You also got this instruction sheet that I will not be using. The part list is available at the back, but you can also see this on lego.com, so you don't really need to wait for me to show you the part list, but here it is anyway, in case you want to know something like these legs especially. That's the most important part in this set, I believe, because of the rare transparent legs. So if you want to get those, that's the part number for them. But yeah, other than that, we will not be looking at the instructions. We'll just build a set based on what we see on the box. And for the smaller sets, I don't think that I need to use the 3D view to spin the thing around. I'll just be able to figure it out on my own. Usually I'm pretty good at doing that. As always, I like to put the minifigures together first. And because this is Ninjago, I'll try to see if there's a copyright-free Ninjago thing that I can play in the background, just like I did with the Star Wars in the past. So let me actually search for some Ninjago-related music that I could play. Try to find some playlist or something that does not get me in trouble. Don't copyright me. Ninjago copyright free. Music. Like usually Ninjago, they're not copyright sharks like some other companies. Usually they do let you use their music when it's something related. Like if you buy a Lego set and you use their music, usually they do let you. So let's try to see if we can find like a long video so I don't have to keep changing all the time. All right, let's go with this one. And I'll unmute when the ads are done, as usual. And leave a chat if you think the music is too quiet or too loud. Yeah, I hope the copyright sharks don't strike. But with that being said, let's put the minifigures together. So here's a look at the torso before I put on the accessory right here. So this is the printing on the front, and this is the printing on the back. I love the classic Ninjago music. And on the face, there's two expressions here, either angry or smiling like this. Let's give him a smile just to start with. And then he has this very fancy hair that's basically flaming, suiting his personality and elemental power. And then he gets two of these swords. So, yeah, this guy is serious. All right, so we'll put him here. This is Kai, for those of you who don't know. Very famous ninja. He's a red ninja, the ninja of fire. And this is the Spectral Dragonian Scout. That's a nice printing right there with the silver, the aqua, and look at all the transparency. I love the transparency on this thing. I'm gonna try to get it to focus. Yeah, just look at that. The arms are transparent, the legs are transparent. Yeah, that's just amazing. It looks like he's made out of ice. There's the head. And here's his accessory in dark blue. It's kind of like the bottom of a dragon mouth or dragon head, basically. Which makes sense because he's a Dragonian, so a dragon, in other words. Yeah, that's the top part. So the two pieces together form a dragon head. Yeah, that looks like a nasty guy. And he gets a different weapon, which is basically this thing holding one of these. And then the other weapon included in the set is this piece right here. This just looks amazing to me, and I'll make it focus. Come on, focus. Yeah, the YouTube app doesn't let me focus this very easily, but here it is from a bit further away. Okay, yeah, there we go. So yeah, this is a very interesting piece. I have seen it before in the set that I built earlier, and it's nice to see it again. I like the transparency part to it. I like the transparency part to it. And the gold here is done really well. So it's dual molded in a very, very nice way. And basically these two guys are going to fight over who's going to win this piece in the end. So yeah, we have the minifigures. Now let's try to build the bikes. And because everything is in one bag, we don't really know which parts go on this bike or that bike, except for what we can see on the box. So a little bit of an extra challenge right there. The wheels are all identical, other than the color. So red for this one, black for that one. And then the tires are different. So this one has larger tires. So we need to put the black ones here with the larger tires. And these tires actually look good from both sides, unlike with a previous motorbike from Ninjago that I reviewed last year, where it looks good from one side and not the other. So I'm happy that they went in a different direction. All right. For those of you who are new to the live stream, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Right now I'm building this Lego Ninjago set that came out in August in North America, came out in June in other parts of the world. And you can still vote in the poll for the next set that I build after this one. So after this is done, I'm going to move on to other sets. And I am doing the giveaway with a link available in the description of this video, as well as in one of the comments that I made in the live chat. All right. So with speed builds, you just see me build this thing in like 1 minute. With a live build, it's a bit different because I'm gonna be vocalizing my thoughts a bit more. And I'm gonna try to see if I can like increase the lighting a bit better. Okay, yeah, so I turned on the device flash just to give a bit more of a lighting boost, because the more lighting, the better with these things. All right. So with these type of things, you first want to build them from the outside in, but if you do that, you'll get stuck. So the real thing you need to do is build them from the inside out as much as possible. Meaning you're going to try to build the stuff that you don't see and then finish with the stuff that you see. Or you do the stuff that you see, but then just make sure not to attach it completely until it's done. So I know that I'm pretty safe in doing this. Like just attach the wheel to the thing, because there's nothing that's going to attach to this here other than the wheel. So I know that's a safe thing to do. So I could just plug this in. When you have new Technic parts, you want to be careful not to force anything too hard. Just be gentle and it's going to work out. And here, so that we keep the same orientation of the tire, I'm going to do this and not this, just to be consistent. Same thing here. Probably in the instructions, they're going to tell you to put the wheels on last. That's usually what Lego does most of the time. But we're not following the instructions. And the good thing about Lego is if you can make a mistake, you can most of the time easily undo it. So one of the pieces is actually rolled to the edge of the table where I'm working, and I brought it back. So if you ever miss a piece, do check your immediate environment before calling Lego for replacements that take a while to arrive. If you do need replacements, then they have excellent customer service, and everyone agrees on that point. So the next thing we're going to have to figure out is what is the distance between this piece and this piece. Is it 1 stud, 2 studs, 3 studs, etc.? Let's take a closer look. It looks like 2 studs to me. Yeah, it looks like 2 studs. I'm going to have some studs on the side to hold on to this stuff and other stuff. So I'll start actually building from the top and going down. And actually what I'll do is I'll take all these pieces and then I'm gonna split them into two parts based on whether I see them in this build or this build, or if I'm not sure, I'll put them in the middle, just to make my life a little bit easier. So I see this here, I see this here, and this is going to be mirrored on the other side. I see this here as well. This is probably an extra piece, so I'll put it here separately. And same thing for this one. Lego gives a bunch of these extra pieces for the smallest parts in their sets. That's a standard thing that they do. So generally we should not use these unless they missed one, which sometimes they do, and in that case we bring it back to the pile. All the aqua stuff obviously goes to this car. Oh, these red things actually go on the minifigure. You see here. And now he's a dragon with horns, interestingly enough. Here they are from a different angle. I don't know where this one goes, so just put it in the middle for now. So all this stuff, it's not immediately obvious where it goes, so it goes here. And most of this is going to have to go here because on this vehicle we don't really see that much. Oh, actually they do see that this goes here. All right, so we'll basically figure them out in parallel instead of doing one then the other. And this would be a lot easier to do with the 3D view, but I want to give myself a little bit of an extra challenge. This is a set for 5 or 6-year-olds, so I do think I should be able to build it without the instructions, and without even the 3D view. Okay, so interesting enough, the black brackets have the studs pointing down, so like this downwards, and the gray ones go upwards. So this way you cannot mix them up. So that means all of these bikes are going to share 2 of each. So 2 here, 2 here, and then 2 of these black ones here, and same thing for this one. So that helps narrow it down. think it's going to go like this. Not entirely sure, but I think this is what's going to happen. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. And there's supposed to be like something to fill this up. I'm just not sure what yet. Looks like some kind of gray piece or something like that. Hard to tell for sure. And here it's not that visible either. But there does need to be a place for the minifigure to sit or stand. So I'm not sure if they have like a little seat or something for them, but let's just set this aside for now and focus on this one for a moment. Oh, and by the way, you can do this. So this bike is done or almost done. Now let's move on to Kai's bike. And again, this looks like there's a distance of 2 studs between this and this, just based on what I can see here. So it looks like it's going to be reinforced with these black pieces right here from, at least from above, you know, that. And then we're going to have like similar brackets like this from below, just to make the geometry work. But then in this case, we have this piece that we add here. All right, that was satisfying to figure out. And I do believe we need either this or that here or here. I'll just go with this for now. And if I'm wrong, we'll find out quickly. And so at this point, we're basically done with the build. Since we have no pieces left, it does mean that there's not really much that we can do here or here, to be honest. So it looks like these are just spaces for the minifigures to stand as they ride these things. And we'll put the minifigures here in a moment. This piece, I don't think it goes here. So that means it has to go here, or maybe it went in here and then you'd have a, actually, yes, you'd have the black piece underneath, and this would be red. Yeah, you just have like one more black piece here. I'm not gonna do that here just for the interest of time. But yeah, we'll take a look at these bikes on their own, and then we'll look at them with the minifigures and move on to the next set. I see some votes coming in for the next set, and please keep voting for your favorite set to build because I'll make that decision soon enough. So I'll start with a good guy bike this time. So it's a nice and simple build, very easy to figure out even without the instructions and without the 3D view, just looking at this angle and this other angle of the box. Because most of what you have to think about is this part right here in the middle. This part with the wheel is obvious, and same thing here. So really you're just looking at like this, and it's just a few pieces and it's symmetrical. So not too difficult to figure out. I made one mistake using this 2x2 black piece instead of the red one right here, and that should have actually gone here, but it's not a big deal. Like the overall appearance of the thing is going to be very, very similar. Because the wheels are so thick, you can actually let this like roll on a surface and it's not going to go over to one side. So that's a nice thing about these kind of Lego motorbikes compared to the real thing. They're not very realistic, but it's fun to play with for kids. So yeah, this thing can go for quite a long distance and it's quite fun. Same thing for this one. This is the bad guy bike. It's quite simpler, but still the same general overall idea. I like the teeth here done in aqua. I do like the things here. You could interpret them as exhaust, or maybe it's a magical bike with like dragon energy, however you want to interpret that. And then you could basically put this guy right here, and he's going to basically have to stand to drive this thing because there's not enough space to sit. So if he sits, he's going to get hurt by the rear wheel. You'd have to modify this slightly if you want the minifigures to sit, but that's fine. They can stand, or they could hold on to the handlebars as shown on the box, just like this. Yeah, so that's a good look right there. And I do think this is what they do in the show. I have not watched all the episodes yet, but yeah, that looks about right to me. At least it's similar to what we see at the front of the box. And Kai, here's what he's going to look like when holding the motorbike from here. And he can also sit just like the other guy. Let's see. You have to twist the hand just right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's what Kai looks like riding his bike. And we're going to race them from here all the way to the end. And we'll do a very unscientific experiment to see who's going to win this prismatic blade or dragon icon, whatever you want to call it, from the Ninjago TV series. So 3, 2, 1, go. And I didn't push them hard enough, but Kai made it forward more. So Kai gets to win this thing. So congrats, Kai. You won the magical sword. And now we can move on to the next set. But before I do that, are there any questions or comments about this particular build? Real quick before we move on. I'll give you like 10 seconds to throw in a quick question there if you have any. If you wanted to show me, if you wanted me to show you something that I've not shown already. So this is what they look like from the back, by the way, and from the underside. So I think I showed pretty much everything to see in regards to this particular set. It's a small set, so what you see is what you get here. The price is, I believe, $10 or $11 US or $13 Canadian. I might be off by $1 or $2, but that's the general range. I do think it's worth the price just because you get some very excellent minifigures with nice accessories for both of them. You get the transparent legs. This is more than a Lego City minifigure, so it's a bit more special than those. You got some nice vehicles. There's lots of play value. So having this be a $10 set, $11 set, it just makes sense because this on its own would be a poly bag. This would be a better poly bag because the bike is a bit beefier. When you put them together, you have the price of 2 poly bags, so it just adds up. If they give us a third minifigure for the same price, I would not complain. I would be like, it's an amazing set. You got 3 minifigures for 10 bucks, but as it is, it's fine. So we'll just watch these guys ride off into the sunset. And I'll just put the extra pieces away, and we'll start with the next build, which looks like it's going to be the Quinjet. So that's the one that's currently leading the vote, aside from the set that I already built. So excuse the noise in the background. I think the neighbors are doing some work in the background. So hopefully that's not too bothersome. I have to put this stored away, but I'll bring it back for a special occasion in the future. And yeah, let's just, okay, so the extra pieces are taken care of. Let's see, now we need to take care of the bikes. So the good thing about these smaller Lego sets is that you can actually fit the constructed models in the box itself without having to disassemble anything. That's true for most of the sets that are in this $10 range. So yeah, let's do that. You could just plop them right in, and I'll actually disconnect the minifigures so that they can be placed on top. And if I had more time, I'd like put them in separate bags or put the minifigures separately, but I'll reorganize my Lego collection at some point after this live stream is done. We'll just put them here for now, along with the instructions that we did not use and we did not even look at. So there we go. One set down, 3 or 4 more to go. And we'll see. Can we finish the Quinjet today? Can we finish the Quinjet today? And is it going to be the Quinjet or something else? You have like 5 seconds to vote for something else if you want to vote. And there's going to need to be 2 votes to sway the poll as it is right now. All right, going once, going twice. All right, it's the Quinjet. It's a done deal now. This is the next set that we're going to be building. So this is the Lego Marvel Avengers Age of Ultron Quinjet. This is that was released on August 1st, 2025 worldwide. It's part of the Lego Marvel Infinity Saga. So check that out on Netflix if you don't know what that is. And it looks to be a quite interesting set. Let's take a look at the back of the box. Actually, before we do that, on the top, you get to see a bunch of Marvel Comics related box art, and I do appreciate this attention to detail. I wish LEGO would do this with all their sets, including the 18+ sets, but unfortunately, they're only doing this for kid sets, like 12+, 8+, etc. And the 18+ sets just get the boring black background that we're tired of after 5 years of the exact same thing. And here we actually see that this thing comes with a stand, which is deluxe. And we see some of the play features right here. So that's pretty cool. And here are the dimensions of the set if you are interested. So yeah, that's great as well. Now let's open this set and see what's inside. And for those of you who know this channel, you know that I don't like these push tabs, especially for the larger, more expensive sets. They really should have used the tapes here, in my opinion. But it's not something that we can control, so we'll just use the push tabs. I do this just to try to preserve the boxes as much as possible. This one looks like it's sealed like very securely. And then throw in the chat what percentage do you think this box is full? Do you think it's like packed 100%? Do you think it's like 50% full? What do you think? Because oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes LEGO would make boxes for their sets that are way too big for what they need to be, just because it looks better on the store shelf, especially for the expensive sets. And also, do you think we're going to get paper bags or plastic bags? Anyone want to take a guess? Okay, so it's paper. Sorry, it's plastic bags, not paper. That you can see right here. And I'll push the stuff inside. Let's see. Okay, so it's, I'd say, 3/4 full, which is better than I was expecting. Okay, there's lots of stuff in this set. I'll put the box off to the side just because there's not enough space for it here. There's this printed piece that shockingly does not come in any protective wrapping, so there's already lots of scratches on it. And I got this straight from the Lego store. There's a scratch right here. There's another scratch right here. This is a set that costs $150 Canadian. It's not a $10 set where you say, oh, it's for tiny little kids. Kids are not gonna pay attention to this stuff. This is like a unique printed piece that's exclusive to the set, so that's pretty disappointing. It's pretty disappointing, and I might actually ask Lego to replace this piece because they really should have wrapped this up in a plastic protective packaging or paper. I don't care what material they use, but just make sure that this is protected and not just thrown in there with a bunch of other pieces. If it was a $5 set, a $10 set, I can see them getting away with that. Maybe even like a $20, $25 set. Okay, not a $150 set. Come on. I realize that I'm still playing the Ninjago music, so I'll switch away from that. And the Marvel might be a bit tricky to find music. Does anyone know for sure? And if you do know for sure, put it in the chat. Is there some copyright-free Marvel music that I could use? I'm actually not sure that there is, because Marvel is very strict when it comes to copyright. They're now owned by Disney, and Disney is very, very strict with their music, and they don't really like to let people use their music without paying them like thousands of dollars in licensing fees and so on. So I think I'll have to go for some generic music that's copyright free. So something from the YouTube audio library. Let's just see what we can find. I'll try to find something cute, just to give us some nice ambiance. And if you want me to do something a bit different, let me know in the chat as well. So in this set, we get, let's see how many bags that we get here. So obviously I have bag 1, bag 9, 4, 3, 6, 5, 2, 8, 10. Okay, so there are 10 bags in this set, and what I like to do is I like to arrange them just to take a picture of all of them together. And usually I do this, like, I pause my recording, do it, and then come back, but since I'm live, I cannot do that. There's also this big instruction manual with a QR code. I will not be using that at all, but I'll just set that to the side. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So in this set, we got 10 numbered bags, numbered from 1 to 10. And then we also get this piece that is not part of any bag and it's just thrown there in the box, so it got a little bit scratched. I'm sure for some people it's got scratched even more, so I'm not even like the person who should complain about this the most, but nevertheless, something for LEGO to improve. And there should be a sticker sheet in this set. Unfortunately, I don't like sticker sheets, but I do know that this set does include one. And I see that it somehow made its way to the floor, so I'll have to pick it up. And this is a clear back sticker sheet, which means you only get one chance to apply the stickers correctly. You cannot reapply these stickers. So if you fail at applying them, too bad. You're gonna have to ask for another sticker sheet, maybe even purchase one, just because these cannot be reattached without leaving some significant ugly residue. So be very careful with the sticker sheet. Take your time to apply the stickers. If you don't know how, try with like a small sticker, like maybe one that's not so important, like this one, instead of the more important stickers. And the fact that we have all these stickers is a bit disappointing to me in the first place, but such is life. If you really don't like the stickers, you can leave some of them off or just don't get the set. Although I do wish that for these expensive sets, LEGO would just make these printed pieces. Like there's smaller companies that have way less resources than LEGO, way less profit than LEGO, and they're printing all their pieces and they're giving us light kits and stuff like that. So I do think that LEGO should raise the bar a little bit and start printing more pieces. Or even if you do have to have a sticker sheet, at least print some of the items. Like here, these things are repeated all the time, like these four. So this should have been a print. These are going to be really difficult to apply. These are very large stickers, so they could have made these into prints and made them exclusive to this set or share them with other sets in the theme. Yeah, you get the point. So yeah, I don't like stickers, but we do have to deal with stickers in this set. Okay, so usually what I do is build the set bag by bag, starting with bag 1. But now I'm actually going to do something different. I'm going to do bag 10 first. And the reason for that is bag 10, you can see here, has all these black pieces to make the stand. So my logic is that if I build the stand first, then I could use the stand to build the rest of the aircraft. That might be useful. So what do you guys think about that? I think it makes sense to start with bag 10 and have the stand ready instead of building it last, because while you're building the set, you might want to suspend it and focus on only one part versus the other. This is based on my experience building the Ultimate Collector Series Jango Fett ship from back in May. It would have been really nice to have the stand from the start instead of building it at the end. So I don't see any objections in the chat, so I'm going to actually start with bag 10, and then I'll go back to bag 1, bag 2, etc. So just a little bit of a different thing. And it's nice to change things up from time to time. And I'll tell you a little bit of behind the scenes what I do in these cases. I take the bags in reverse order, so 9, 8, 7, etc. And I'm going to put them in the box or just in some kind of container so that I'm going to be able to lift the bags in the correct order. So if I put 9 at the bottom and 1 on top, I'll be able to pull up bag 1 and then bag 2 and so on in the correct order, so I don't have to resort these bags ever again. So I'll be doing that. And again, usually you don't see this in my regular videos because I just pause the video, and through the magic of video editing, you never know. But here we're doing things live, and I don't right now have any magic powers or an assistant to do this work on my behalf. It's just me. So yeah, you'll have to watch me put the bags in the box. Almost done. So then the time that we invest here will be time that we save later. So it's not a waste. I do have the box off camera on this side. I'll use that as one of my references. So before we actually build the stand, let's build the Ultimate Ultron. This whole thing is Age of Ultron. Basically, it's all named after this guy. Here's a closer look at the torso printing. This is a very well executed torso. I wish it had arm printing as well, but what is here is good. And here's a look at the back printing of Ultron before I put him in. I love the silver. Very, very nice for this character. And the legs are printed as they should be. No dual molding or side printing, unfortunately, but still, that's pretty nice. And you get some energy that he's going to be throwing around in the form of studs. It's funny how these same pieces are used as lights in other Lego sets. Like this could be like the rear light, but it could also be a ball of energy. And that's the beauty of Lego. It could be anything. And notice how I'm putting the mold mark or the sprue mark on the inside to make it as less visible as possible. I like to do that with all my builds. And we're supposed to attach him to like the thing, but once it's complete. So we'll just leave him like this for now. Just gotta make sure to make the legs balance. They have to be at the exact same angle. There we go. All right. Now let's put the stand together. Oh, and we also got a bunch of these transparent pieces that we could use to attach the superheroes to the stand or to the Quinjet potentially. So I will hold on to these and we'll come back to them at the end when the whole thing is done. If you do see any interesting pieces or any new pieces, mention them in the chat. And I will do the same if I notice something that's new to me, something I've not noticed before. But so far, these look like pretty standard Lego pieces to me. And so we're going to have a mix of Lego, standard Lego and the standard Lego system and also Lego Technic, which is pretty normal for these kind of things. These are some very long Technic bricks. Very, very long and very useful. And here it's important to get the Lego Technic right, because if you get it wrong, you have to take apart the whole thing and build it back correctly. So that's something that I keep learning time and again the hard way. I really wish they would recolor these blue pins to black for these kind of display type sets. For young kids, I do understand they need the colors to be different so they don't get confused. But for the older builders, I do think that they should at least give us the option to use the correct color or the best color for the particular build. And if you disagree with me, if you think that these should always be color locked, leave a comment down below and explain your rationale. I really want to hear from people who don't agree with me on this. Maybe you can convince me to change my mind or at least be more open-minded about it. But I never heard any convincing argument for why these should be color locked. They were not in the past and we survived. So I'm wondering why they're insisting on that now, even for the 18 plus sets. I really don't understand. And here we got to build from one side and not both, otherwise we'll be in trouble. You got to build all the stuff that comes here in the middle before we add the equivalent piece on the other side, because otherwise we'll be locked out and have to take it out and put it back multiple times. So I'll try not to do that. And here, these pieces look symmetrical, but they're not. You got to get the right orientation because you need the holes to be in the right place on the sides right here. Otherwise, you won't be able to connect them. So pay close attention when building this stuff. Even with the instructions, lots of people get it confused. So you got to pay very close attention to what you're building. This is often called a biscuit piece just because of the way that it's shaped. It's pretty nice. And now we come to this turntable. And here you gotta be very careful with this turntable because once you put these pieces together, it's almost impossible to separate them. So you gotta make sure that you're putting them in correctly. And if you need to do something before attaching them, do that first because you will never be able to undo this. In this case, I'm relatively confident, but you can never be too sure. So let's think about this first. And I'm going to try to attach everything I need on the top and on the bottom, then link them together just to make sure I'm not locked out. So actually this is going to go here and this is going to get locked in thanks to these pins right here. It's a bit finicky, especially the first one. As you can see, it gets better. And this goes here. And this goes on the other side. So now in theory, when we attach this, this gear is gonna be here so we can actually spin this around. It's pretty smart actually. On this side, what do we need to connect? It's basically just some axles from what I see. Just some axles, that's it. So I think we're safe to connect this now. There it is. And this is going to be able to rotate, but with friction, so you can precisely change the angle without worrying about it slipping. Because if it had no friction, then this would always go down because of gravity. So it's important for friction to exist in this case. So now we're going to attach this here. First, let's do this one. These gray axles can be attached to the very end. So we can start putting stuff on the other side. Now we can attach this one right here. And when we're presenting, this is going to be the front. So we want this mold mark to be less visible. So we'll put it at the back. And same thing here. We want the mold mark to be on the back. Yeah, this black axle is what all of these other pieces should be. And yes, it's going to be a bit more difficult to build it, even with or without the instructions, but it would look a lot better. And I care a lot about aesthetics when it comes to a display model. I just think that makes sense. Now, yeah, we just put a couple of these gray axles and we're done with this particular part. Yeah, that went in nicely. And if we just put one, then we can do this, which we obviously don't want. But now this is going to lock it in place quite securely. At least that's the theory. So now this is not going to go anywhere. It vibrates a little bit, but that's not a big deal. And we can start thinking about how to attach this stuff to the rest of the base. I'm going to count 2 hollow studs and put a black pin here and here. And these lift arms go here. And at this point, I think we can add the tiles here as well. So 2x6. Then we're going to have a 2x2, I believe. Yeah, 2x2. And another 2x6. Right, that's nice and shiny. And now this is gonna get attached to the rest of the stuff. I'm gonna do something slightly illegal, and that's to attach this thing here. Well, or no, we could just remove this and do it the proper way. Essentially, we're gonna use these blue pins, put them here. Because remember, we're always building from the inside out. There we go. And here we just need to determine where to attach them. We just need to count the number of holes, basically. So this is where we're going to attach it. So what this like is going to be half, and then one more, and then here. And then let's count 5 hollow studs, and in the 6th one we put this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And of course, once the angle is figured out, it's a lot easier to do it on the other side. And if I did the math right, then I should have 3.5 remaining on this side. 1, 2, 3.5, and then yeah, that adds up. So yeah, we just plug these into these things that we made earlier. Fits perfectly. And then we just tile it off. But before we do that, let's actually add the reinforcing pieces from underneath. And a reminder that the giveaway is still open, so if you have not participated yet, you are still welcome to do so. At the time that I say this during the live build, if you're watching the replay of this later, then that might no longer be the case. And they're giving us a few studs here just so we can attach the minifigures on the display stand, which I always appreciate. And you can leave some of these off if you want to attach minifigures here as well. It's always up to you. Yeah, so bag 10 builds the stand of the Quinjet along with this mechanism to rotate it. And it gives us a bunch of these pieces that we can use in conjunction with the clear pieces to attach the minifigures somewhere around the stand wherever we want. So I'll just put all of those to the side until we get more minifigures to pose here. But essentially, this is the main part of bag 10. We also get Ultron, the ultimate Ultron in this bag. And now I'll just put away the extra pieces and I'll just put them in this bag so it's easy for me to keep track of them. And then we'll move on to bag 1. And then the fun part actually starts because we'll be able to build the Quinjet itself and we'll use the stand as we need to. So quite a lot of extra energy bits that we get, useful for various superheroes. And these pieces here are probably used for minifigure posing as well, or maybe used internally somewhere else, I'm not sure. So how are we feeling so far? Bag 10 is done. Just put that away. Are we ready to build the Quinjet? Hello, thank you for joining the live stream. It's a good time for you to join because I'm about to build the exciting stuff. I do understand why LEGO leaves this to the end. It's just because they don't want people to get bored when they start with the build. But I do think that it's good to eat your vegetables and basically get it over with, and then you'll be able to use it once it's done. All right, so enough talk. Let's open bag 1. Let's see what we got. And again, if you notice any interesting pieces that you've never seen before, comment down below. In this set, we got a teal brick separator, which is my favorite color. So this is a bit different than the orange ones that we usually get. So that's pretty nice. And it looks like we got Black Widow in this bag as well. And it looks like we got her motorbike also. Where are her legs? I hope they're printed. Yes. Yeah, there was a time when Marvel was not doing any leg printing at all, but now at least they're printing the legs, even though they're not always dual molded or printed on the side, but at least there's some printing on the legs. So here's a look at Black Widow. There's some printing on the back as well. And is there an alternative expression? Yes, we do get an alternative expression with her being very angry or frustrated. So it's nice to see both expressions. Now let's see. She does get a motorbike. And this is where we start with those dangerous stickers. So again, this is not for the faint of heart, because you only get one chance. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to mess up at least one of the stickers. There's how many stickers here? 18 stickers, but some of them are doubled. So you see like 15, 15. So I'd say about like 30 stickers in total. There's no way I'm going to get all of them perfectly right, but let's hope that I'm at least close enough. So we actually need to think about which sticker goes where. So basically this thing that looks like a Z is going to go on this side, and the other one will go on the other side. And this thing is a little bit scratched, but it's not that big of a deal. And again, be very careful. Don't even touch these with your hands, like the underside of them. Always use a brick separator. And if you're off by a little bit, then just accept that and move on. Don't try to reposition the sticker, because you will fail. Just gonna double check. Actually, I want this thing here to appear at the bottom and not the top, so this actually goes like this. Okay, yeah, that's close enough. Okay, takes a bit of concentration, but it is possible at least. And we can attach basically the two parts of the motorbike together. Where are the handlebars? Oh, can always put in the wheels. We know how to do that. There are supposed to be some handlebars for the bike, though. Or I could steal some from the Ninjago bikes that we recently built, but I don't feel like doing that. If I don't find them quickly, I'll just leave them for later. Yeah, there they are. Okay, there we go. So that's the bike of Black Widow. Yeah, and this one, does it balance or does it fall down? Well, yeah, it does balance, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, it looks like a nice super bike. And here's what Black Widow looks like when riding it. Yeah, and she couldn't touch the handlebars, and if you flip the hands or rotate them, then she'll be able to actually hold onto them. So yeah, that's a nice look right there. Although, yeah, it's pretty hard to make her balance when she's on the bike. It's very easy to tip this over. All right, so let's move on to the build itself. Just gonna prepare myself. All right, so now we're gonna build the Quinjet itself. And one of the questions that's always interesting is where do we want to start from? You could start from the back, the front, the top. I think for this one, I'll start from the back. There's lots of similar pieces all in the same color here. Lots of these grill pieces, by the way. Have these snot pieces, which stands for studs not on top. Lego always has these very interesting acronyms. Yeah, it's important not to make silly mistakes early on because they add up quickly. So count the number of studs, do whatever you need to do to make sure you know what you're doing. And sometimes you're not sure, and that's okay, but just slow down and double check instead of rushing things and undoing them. And remember, enjoy the build. You don't want to rush through the build just to get to the final result. You want to enjoy the build. You paid a lot of money for your Lego or other construction toy, and part of that is for the final result, but part of that is also for the build experience. So I do think it's important to take the time to really enjoy that. Now, this was fun to figure out, fun to put together. I think a good place to start the build. I do think it's often helpful to build stuff from the back and from the bottom and then going up, so you can kind of see the model growing in front of you. Lots of Nexonite shields as well. Every time a theme is introduced and is retired, it gives us some pieces that remain in collective memory, like these shields that were first introduced with Nexonites in 2016, and now we refer to them as Nexonite shields. And same thing with Mixel's ball joints, Harry Potter wands, etc. Oops. Oh, cannot do that yet. I'm generally trying to build stuff from the bottom up. I know this piece is gonna, maybe not this piece, or there's got to be a piece that fits right here. It's we'll figure it out. Oh yeah, I think it's actually one level above, maybe. Or oh yeah, this actually goes here. Oh yeah, there we go. That solves the problem. there's always a solution. Here's another of a catch-22 because we're building stuff on multiple fronts, but I think this is a solution that will work. The important thing is that we're able to fit this through here, like this. And then we'll do a little bit of cheating to basically attach all of this in one shot. So lean it back and then press it in, and now it's locked in. There we go. I don't know what is the official order to put these things together, but you can check the instructions if you want. Although I don't recommend that. I recommend just experimenting and trying to figure things out on your own, because you learn a lot more that way versus just following instructions that someone else wrote for you. If you're very, very new to Lego, you have never built a Lego set before, or you have not built in like decades, maybe it's worth it to try building 1 or 2 sets with the instructions to give you the idea for what to expect. But then once you're used to it, try to treat Lego sets more of like a puzzle instead of just something that you build following instructions. Okay, so we built a little bit of the front, we built a little bit of the back. Now we gotta fill this part and start building upwards, because basically we're done with the bottom of this particular building phase. Put in the seats. It's easier to put the inner details first before expanding outwards. You have a bunch of bracket pieces that are similar in color, so this versus this versus this. So it's important to figure out the right one to use in each situation. And these, of course, are going to be mirrored on the other side. When pieces fit perfectly like this, you're not off by one. You know that you're doing a good job. And look, these line up perfectly. So we know that we're doing it right. Otherwise, if things don't line up, just slowly reverse what you did and try it again, paying very close attention. Yeah, look at this. That's nice. Okay, now it's time to cover the exteriors on both sides. At that point, we'll be close to finished with the build, for bag one at least. Here we can hide the sprue mark for this, so why not? As a bonus, the Lego logo is written right side up instead of upside down. Have some stud shooters. Apparently, we don't get any of the energy bits now. We already saw them in bag 10. So apparently they make you wait till the very end to actually play with the stud shooters, which is unusual. I don't know if they've done that before, but we already have the pieces since we started with bag 10, so these would go here. But I don't really need to see I don't see the need to do that right now. You have these lightsaber hilts and these that we have not used yet. Let's think a little bit about where they would go. I don't see any obvious place to put them in the 3D view. Let's take a closer look, because sometimes these things are not always obvious. Could this be used by the minifigures? This is not Star Wars, so these are used as lightsabers in Star Wars. But that's not the case here. I don't really see the hilts either. I don't see any obvious place where these could be hidden somewhere in the build, because sometimes LEGO does include those Easter eggs. And they're not clipped here either. It could be, but then we're going to use these clips in a later building phase, so that's not it either. Yeah, I don't know where these go. These ones probably they go somewhere on the floor here. Let's just take a closer look and probably we'll find a place for them. We got these. Got these on this side. This here. This here. This is exposed. This is exposed. Here we've used a bunch of them. I don't know. It's not immediately obvious to me where these pieces go. So in that case, I'll just hold on to them with the extra pieces, and if I need them in a future building phase, I will use them. And I'll put all the other extra pieces in here as well. And by the end of the build, this bag is going to be full. All right, let's move on to bag 2. And at some point, we can actually attach this here. That's the reason why I built the stand first. And then I could like take pieces and put them here if needed, instead of having to basically hold this in my hand the whole time. So I could let the stand hold this thing for me. So we'll see. I'll do that when it makes sense, not necessarily all the time. Bag 2 is looking very colorful. I wonder if these colors are references to anything. I know LEGO loves their references, either to designers or to former sets, or to stuff related to the franchise, to stuff related to Marvel, or it could be some combination of all of the above. So let's see. Oh, this is an interesting piece that we got right here. I don't know if it's new in this color or if it already existed, but it's a nice piece to get, certainly. Bunch of coral color. Oh, I need to adjust the camera. Yeah, so this is coral, this is purple, bright purple. A bunch of interesting colors that we see. So what else do we have here? A bunch of these large plates, and that's why you cannot really use price per piece. You cannot say that this piece is worth 10 cents and this piece that's much larger, that this piece that's much larger should also be worth 10 cents. Like at best, it's like a very general guideline. It looks like we're going to be building more of the back of the ship, obviously adding stuff on this side. Okay, so you see now this is going to form part of the door, the back door. So it's gonna be like this, kind of like one of those Star Wars ships. I'm blanking on the name right now. The Republic gunship. It had a similar thing. It might even be the same LEGO designer that did that. the Jango Fett starship also had a similar mechanism, although that one you press a button or you press on it and then it opens. So that one was really magical. Where'd the other piece like this go? There it is. Looks like we have an additional tile right here. And more of these brill pieces. This set includes so many of them in various colors. Okay, so this is eventually going to get attached there. I'm not going to attach it yet because we might want to put other stuff first, and then this is going to clip on very easily when we want it to. And here it's hard to figure out what's the best order to put these pieces onto this on the back, because essentially this thing is not going to hold anything. So we need to be strategic in how we attach stuff here. And there's also stuff that comes on the outside that assumes you already built the stuff on the inside. All right. Well, let's do this. And this is gonna look like it doesn't make sense until it all comes together. Because you would feel like you'd want to connect this to this, but actually no. There's gonna be another assembly that ultimately connects these two together, but it's not gonna be a direct connection. So we're basically going from studs on the side and studs on the side again. So they basically cancel out, which is pretty funny. We have seen this before. It's not the first time I've seen this, but it's always interesting to see when that happens. I wish there was a button to press so I can sort the pieces. Okay, there we go. And I have a brick to attach these in light gray. Before we do that, we actually have some brackets. Here, here, and here. Then we can attach this so it ultimately all comes together. And these go here. Just gotta be careful when attaching. Because right now this whole thing is held by only these 3 studs. It's not held on very well. We're going to be attaching stuff on the side to cement that connection as well as stuff from the top. So it'll come with time. And then we'll be building stuff on the top as well. I think this actually makes sense here. good way to quickly lock all these pieces together. Low-key fun, but time-consuming, bro. Good luck. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's time-consuming, but I think it's time well spent. And yeah, the build experience is part of the fun. Yeah, I'll try using the stand and see if that helps. It's gonna bring stuff closer to my field of vision, which is in theory more comfortable to deal with. It's at a slight angle, but I don't mind. I can spin this around as needed. But then the distance between the pieces and this is larger. So that's the trade-off. Through the process of elimination, I think this is the only piece that fits here. But then we need to attach it on the other side. So we have to figure out this before we can attach this. We can at least attach some of the pieces that are unrelated. Oops. Yeah, this is not held together super well yet. Also, I think the YouTube short live format will get you more views. I've only seen one YouTube short live in the recent past. I forgot the name of the YouTuber off the top of my head, but he's very good at what he does, and he was building some Lego Star Wars stuff. I might try that in the future. I'm not against it. And in that case, I'll be showing much more vertical. So I don't know whether that would work for all the builds. For this build, I don't think it matters too much either way, horizontal versus vertical, but I'm just more used to horizontal filming. It's just been around for much longer. Right. Okay, so now I think it makes sense to attach this because we're going to be building stuff around it. Yeah, it fits in very nicely, and then this is the proper angle for it, and Lego is never capable of getting the angle exactly right, so there is no piece that would not like have this gap right here. So yeah, like they would need to create like a special piece for this. I wish they would, and then just reuse it in a whole bunch of sets, but we do have to deal with this in real life. Or they could have made this shorter, but then it would be a bit less accurate. So pick your poison there. This is going to be very tight. So like the geometry works, it's just that this piece is not quite what we want here. Yeah, that's like holding on very tight here. That's interesting to see. For brackets, this is the only one that's left, and it makes sense to use this one. Yeah, and then now we can attach this. All right. Now we can start covering this up. I need a 1x3 tile. Yes. And then we're going to hide these pieces here because they're not visible in the end. So that means they have to go either here or somewhere else where they're not visible. This goes on the other side and this goes here. Yeah, it's starting to take shape. Okay, so now we're done with this part and we're going to build the stuff that goes above it. And for this, I actually think it's better to shift to the ground for a moment and just build stuff on a flat surface and then transfer the things over when it's done. That minimizes the risk of me putting pressure on these pieces and then potentially breaking something and having to rebuild it. I need to fit something here, like a 2x3. We don't have one, we only have this. So can we use this or is it used elsewhere? We're gonna need this and this for sure. Okay, so it looks like we're gonna use this somehow. Probably attached like this. And that means we have to use this piece here. Again, through the process of elimination. This is constructed in a very interesting way. I've never seen like these pieces used just for the sake of the external shape, and we don't really care about the stuff that happens in the middle because all this is going to get covered up. This is quite unusual to me. These are going to be here. There's no studs to attach them to from below. They will be held on to from above instead. Maybe this gets attached here. I'm not sure. Let's think about this. We have a very interesting assembly at the rear, done like this. And here the coral color is intentional. It's not just a filler color. We're actually using it for a specific purpose. Is to make these lights have a certain appearance. So the trans blue, but then coral behind it. And I know Lego usually they try to be as show accurate as possible, so I'm sure they tried lots of different combinations and this turned out to be the best possible option. All right. And this gets attached here. Actually, with a slight correction, these actually face this way so that we can attach stuff on the other side. Specifically these tiles right here. And this won't fit here, so it cannot be this piece. This we need later. So we could use, we do need these later as well. Could it be these? Let's see. No, we do, well. Yeah, we do these as well. Basically anything I'm looking at is being used. I don't want to use it here, but we do need to put something here. Referring to this gap. Because we need something on which to put this piece right here. Probably, or maybe it's not attached through the bottom, but only through the top. It's one of those mysteries, you know. We do have this. You know what it could be? It could be that we just need these two red studs here, and then the rest is hollow. Or actually maybe this one goes here. Or maybe it's the other way around and there's some kind of reference that I'm not aware of. But this does work, I believe. We'll see soon enough. All right. Now we'll basically attach the blocks. So basically between a brick and a plate. Oh, but we're gonna need oh, actually, now I realize my mistake. We should have added this other piece down here. Good thing I caught that before it was way too late. This goes here. And this behind it at the same level. And then now we just need that black 2x3. So these will actually go here. Lots of interesting angles here. This is definitely not the Lego of the 1970s or 1980s when everything was more boxy and geometric. This is something else. Yeah, that fits perfectly. Now we're almost done with this part. What else do we need to do? So we're supposed to use these pieces somewhere. I don't see where yet. I'll keep looking. Oh, these are used here. now I realize we need these here. Still have no idea how this fits in with the rest. It's supposed to go in like this. I just don't see what it does. Oh, I guess it's just to attach to this thing here. Oh, that's pretty smart actually. So attach it from here, and here, and here. Oh, I didn't show you that properly, but basically this thing, this assembly attaches from multiple sides. So right here we have this with studs on top, and this is studs on the side, this dark bluish gray piece, and then the flame yellowish orange is attached to it. So that's one attachment point, and the other attachment point is these studs on the top. So with these two together, this is held pretty securely in place. And yeah, this is what we get at the end of bag 2. So bag 2 basically builds the rear part of the Quinjet, just a small part of it. And we have lots of studs on the side. Construction in this building phase. We have an interesting color effect for the lights at the rear. Now, let me take a brief pause as I think about whether or not I want to build bag 3. It's starting to get a bit late. Let's see. Let's look at the size of bag 3 and then I'll decide. If it's very large, I might skip it or leave it for another day. If it's small, then let's go for it. Bag 3 is, let's say, medium in size. So I guess let's start bag 3. Let's see how we feel as we're building it. It looks not too difficult. And again, I'm putting the extra parts over here. Okay. Actually, let me put this thing on the stand first. It looks like bag 3 is going to be building the wing, or part of the wing. And it looks like it's going to be very standard construction of like the plates on top of plates on top of plates. So hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. We do have some of those stickers making their appearance in this building phase. So here's how I'm going to address them. First of all, find the pieces to be stickered. I always try to do the stickers at the beginning before I get too tired and I want to rip the band-aid off, so to speak. In this particular case, I'm going to attach the stickers or the pieces where I'm going to do the stickers to a larger grid, just so it helps me align them better. And I just want to make sure I have the right orientation. So they're pointing, the triangles are pointing this way, downwards. And the arrow of the sticker should be pointing this way. It's very important not to get that wrong. So you have to pick the right stickers from these two. So with the triangle pointing this way, the sticker points this way, it's going to be this sticker right here, number 3. And these are genuinely clear backed, as you can see. So please pay utmost attention with these. Double check, triple check. But before too much dust comes in, you're going to want to put these pieces or the stickers on. I really wish LEGO would have printed these though. Okay, that's good enough. Definitely good enough. A little bit of an air bubble in there, but not a big deal. And then we can actually detach the pieces and use them in the build when we get to them. Oops. So I'm going to build off of these pieces right here. There's a few things to attach to the bottom, but I'll attach those later, just because it's easy to have like a large flat surface on which to build on. Looks like I might be off by 1 here. I'm going to have some interesting colors here. These are probably references to some Marvel characters. I don't think they're totally random colors. So quite annoyingly, we don't know for sure what's going to appear here. We know it's not this or this because we do see these elsewhere. So we'll have to put this on hold and start building some of the other stuff. And then as we use those pieces, we'll have less pieces. And then we'll, through the process of elimination, we'll be able to figure out what goes here. Because lots of the pieces here are very similar, it's very easy to make a mistake if you're not paying attention, even if you are using the instructions, which I'm not. So definitely pay attention. All right, these wedge plates, and this should go here. Yeah, but before we attach this, we have to figure out that thing there. So that's going to be annoying, but we can at least put the stuff that we know for sure is going to appear on top of this piece. So for example, we know that this tile is going to go here for sure. And then here we have some interesting assemblies. You have these pieces right here, the D-snot pieces as they're called. And we're going to attach these things to them. So these claw pieces often used with characters and robots and things like that. And then we're going to attach these tiles to them like this to give like a 3D effect. That's pretty smart, actually. And it's a totally legal technique. Many people think it's not because there used to be other clips in the past where this actually was not legal. Now it has become legal. Palpatine has made it legal. This is some very interesting texturing right there. And once we figure out whichever piece goes here, we will be able to plop this thing on top. Actually, I'm starting to think it might be this white piece. If I cannot find another one, then that's probably it. Probably. Okay, the music has stopped, so I'm gonna play that again. All right. And you can tell that the model is going to be quite large just because this wing in of itself is larger than many Lego sets, interestingly enough. Somewhere along the line, this yellow tile appears along with these, regular yellow versus flame orangish yellow. And this goes right here. Next to it is this black plate. And then there's some tan stuff that's basically here. And at this point, I think we can safely say that it's this that goes here because we are not using it anywhere else. We're using this one, but we have one to spare. And this might be some character or something, like this combination of colors might be in reference to one or more characters. I do see these are being used somehow. And this will go on these. Can we put this wing on? I believe so. Almost. We have a few more stuff to add here. So we're missing some tiles, but other than that, it looks good. Yeah, I'll just attach this and then figure out the tiles. I could just disassemble all of these and put them back. Tile here. Brick here. And here. Tile here. Oh yeah, that's a good fit right there. Yeah, that looks really good. Yeah, you see that? That's very nice. I feel like this is wrong. Oh, I made a mistake somewhere because this should be next to this. Where did we go wrong? Oh, it's because we should have used a 1x2 instead of a 1x4. Thankfully, this is not that hard to fix. There we go. Yeah, because this red needs to be aligned with this one. Probably means use this there, but we'll see. Actually, I have one more of these constructions. And let's just see, make sure we're not doing anything wrong. We will need all three of these pieces for the underside. We're gonna need something to put in here. We don't know what that's going to be. Again, we can leave it for as long as possible. This actually needs to be moved up here. And here this whole thing is going to be built on the side. And here we again flip the direction to cancel it out. We need a few more tiles. But we use them. But the thing is, this is a 1x3 and another 1x3. They could be combined into this 1x6, and these can actually be taken and put there. So again, we'll have to disassemble and reassemble this part. Thankfully, this is a small mistake that's very easy to fix. Now that these tiles are liberated, we can put them here. On the side, we have this stuff. And then we can top it off. Okay, we're starting to run out of pieces. That means we're getting close to the finish. You can start thinking about this, for example. This is going to be something like this, so we need to know what to put in here. I think at this point you can start working on the underside, just to eliminate any possible confusion. Because I would have used this piece, but it turns out we're using it here. That was our last hope. We'll have to be a bit more creative. The obvious solution of using this piece to fill the gap won't work. I still have a few other ideas, so don't worry. I don't know why this is the only inverted tile right here. I wish more of this was inverted tiles, but I'll take this as the only thing we can get. And the reason why I did not want to apply these pieces from the beginning is then this whole thing is going to become a bit slanted. But now that we're almost done, it's fine to add them, in my opinion. We just need to figure out what to put here and here, such that this whole thing makes sense. Do we still have any more 1x2s anyway? If I can't think of something, I'll just use the extra pieces from this bag, and if need be, the other bags, just to plug in the parts that no one's going to see, no one's going to care about. But I'm sure there's an official solution where that is not necessary. So let's see. We do know that with this, after it, there's this. Actually, this is safe to insert now. And actually, at the same level as the black piece, we do have this one right here. So it turns out this is a solution for this one. And then this fills in the gap right here. Is this right? It looks like yes, for now this is right. You might be adding other stuff here, so this is not the final form, but this gap here is correct from what I see in the 3D view. Basically, this is the only piece out of these that fills this gap, so it makes sense to put this here. And then we can just want to make sure I get it the right spot. Yeah, this looks like it. Oops. Sorry, I dropped the recording device. It's a sign I'm getting a bit tired. But actually, this one needs to be down here. And then we have 3 of these here, here, and here. Probably going to attach something to this, obviously. This goes here, and this goes here. Okay, yeah, that solves it. We're almost done with this part of the wing. We just need to figure out where the rest of these pieces go. These are all extra pieces we don't need to care about. Basically, we just need to figure out where these 4 pieces go, and then we'll be done. Over here, we could put this here potentially. I think that makes sense. But actually, no, because we're going to put a light bluish gray tile. I'll have to remove this to remove this. in case you did not see the build for this one, this is what it looks like with studs on the side. Construction. And now we can do this and this. Only piece remaining is this. I'll see if I can find a place for it quickly, otherwise we can just leave it out and it probably doesn't matter too much. It might be on the other side as well. Yeah, we'll give the thing a few more spins. Other than that, I think we're going to call it a night. It is 10:23 p.m. in my local time zone, and I do work tomorrow at my regular day job. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll be wrapping up shortly. So if you have any final comments that you want me to read before I end the stream, now is a good time to start putting them in. As a reminder, the giveaway is still ongoing. I still have these Lego sets that I'll be giving away, and perhaps I'll be giving out more depending on how these videos perform in the algorithm. Yeah, this goes here. All right, I'm happy that I was able to figure this out. I'm going to bring out bag 4. I will not open it, but I'll just bring it out. And bag 4 looks like more of the same kinds of pieces, maybe slightly different because it's mirrored, and we do get a minifigure as well. So probably what I'll do is I'll build bag 4 offline, just because it's the exact same build as this. So you probably don't want to see the same thing twice. That will be a lot faster than this one. And then we'll pick up the pace with bag 5 and so on. So in reality, we built 4 bags, or we figured out 5 bags of the set, which is halfway. Bags 1, 2, 3, and this here, the stand, is bag 10. We figured that out. And bag 4, we have not built it, but it's going to be identical to this. So I'm pretty sure in the end, it's not going to be too difficult to build. And just so you know, I'm going to take it off the stand temporarily. This is going to be one of the wings. I believe it's going to be the wing that's attached from the left. So basically it would, like, the reason why we have these Technic bricks in the first place is so that we can attach it like this. So I'll attach it temporarily just so you see what that looks like. You see here, the tile being here is very important, otherwise the thing would not fit. Yeah, so yeah, this is heavy in the hand. You feel like some substance here, and it's not even halfway done. So I'll take it out again for now, just so I can use this as a reference to build the other half, the other side of the wing. This pin doesn't really matter whether it's here or there. So yeah, I think it's time to wrap it up. Let's look at the minifigures one more time. For those of you who are still here, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Here's Ultron, the very famous Ultron. Age of Ultron is named after him. And here we have Black Widow on her motorcycle. Yeah, very nice minifigure to get as well. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Check out the link for the giveaway and to let me know which sets you want me to build next. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.